I still know how to pronounce the word union. You led the way. You were the ones that took a bet on me. You've never left me, and I've never left you.
All right, now I have no doubt in my mind Joe Biden is running for president of the United States, no matter what Hillary Clinton thinks or does, and addressing a crowd for whom Hillary ain't exactly all that. I am talking unions, who still chafe over her husband's trade agreements, including NAFTA, from which union types say they are still recovering. To astute political watchers, Vincent Vernuccio and Bob Cusack on whether old Joe is happily opening an old wound. Bob, what do you think?
Oh, he's definitely thinking about it. There's no doubt about it. And he's not going to rule out. He hasn't ruled out the possibility of running in 2016, which is a long way off. And he's clearly courting the liberal base. If he is going to take on Hillary Clinton, he's going to have to get a lot of the unions on his side. That's an uphill battle. There's no doubt. But Hillary Clinton, you know, her numbers have taken hits, and I'm sure the Biden people have watched that. So yeah, is he preparing for it? Has he gone to the early states? Absolutely.
I do think it's interesting he was the most vocal that's at a gathering of union types, the UAW, because this is a crowd that I can remember distinctly when NAFTA came about and her husband, Bill Clinton, was, you know, carving out all these accords, said that they were going to hurt American jobs. Now, you could make the argument that didn't happen. They argue that a lot of core union jobs and salaries and benefits went down since then, and they look back to those agreements that started the ball rolling. So they still got some wounds, and they looked, I think, to Hillary Clinton as partly a contributor to those wounds.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. But one thing they have to watch out for is Hillary's such a front runner now that they probably won't come out in support of Biden just because, remember, you know, Hillary had a hit list in 2008. She had an enemies list,
yeah.
So you don't want to get on her bad side.
There is something to that. But, Vincent, here's what I'm thinking is going on here. The vice president, to Bob's point, is hedging his bets and saying, look, I don't know how old he is. I think he's like 112, 113. But what has he got to lose? What has he got to lose? What do you think, Vince?
Well, exactly. I mean, that's why he's going out, and he remembers the Obama strategy. Part of the reason why Obama won the Democrat nomination is because he had the support of the unions. And you hit the nail on the head, Neil, that Unite Here and the Teamsters and the UAW were a big part of that because of their fear of Hillary and NAFTA.
Now, Vince, on to that point, I do want to raise this to Bob as well, but Vince, to you first. This concern that the party might be moderating and some of its more liberal elements, its core base, reflected through names like Elizabeth Warren and maybe Governor Malley of Maryland, maybe former Governor Schweitzer of Montana, that they're going to let their agenda be known, that this is not going to be a slam dunk for Hillary. And I think into that void enters the Vice President of the United States. What do you think? Vince?
Oh, that's true. And you had the quote at the beginning of Biden saying that he knows how to pronounce union. Well, the second part of that quote is him saying that a lot of politicians talk about workers. He doesn't talk about workers. He talks about unions. And the reason why he's doing that is because he knows where his bread is buttered, and he knows that you know, he's going to serve this about 11% of the workforce and give them special treatment because he knows that they're the ones that politically are going to come out and support him. You know, when I first heard about this story, I heard that Biden was talking about the UAW contributing to his success. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and think that, okay, maybe he's talking about growing up in the middle class or getting a job. But tongue-in-cheek, I thought, well, maybe he's talking about their political support. And guess what? He was. If nothing else, give the guy credit for being honest.
You know, Bob, I did hear I could pronounce union when he said that, and I thought to myself, well, you know, that isn't a big leap. I mean, I can pronounce union. Solzhenitsyn maybe is a toughie, but so I let that one go. But what was he saying there? What was he was there any veiled slap at Hillary Clinton or through her husband Bill Clinton or what?
I mean, yeah, I think the Clintons probably are looking at and asking that same question because it wasn't an overt slap. But he's got to differentiate himself from Hillary Clinton. And to your point, Neil, I do think that Hillary Clinton is going to be challenged from the left. There's no doubt about it. We've talked to people who want a primary challenge. I don't think it's going to be Elizabeth Warren, but Senator Bernie Sanders has said he would run. He can't beat Hillary Clinton. But someone on the left, they don't like her vote on the Iraq War. They also don't like her paid speeches to Wall Street types. So there is some distrust of her from the left. Now, the problem that Biden has is that Obama's trying to push a trade deal that labor doesn't like.
Right,
and also, he voted for the Iraq War, too.
Real quickly, the other elephant in the room of these now alleged affairs of Bill Clinton. One that has Elizabeth Hurley that they fooled around. Elizabeth Hurley denies it. But you already know Rand Paul wants to make an issue of Bill Clinton's philandering and that workplace, harassment. Does that hurt her, Vince?
It may, but it still is a leap. I mean, tracking the husband to the wife, that just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I'm not one to make predictions,
her, right?
and this. It might bring more sympathy for her, exactly. But I'm not one to make predictions, and I'm not sure which way the union endorsements are going to go. But I think I will lay it on the line right now and say that most late-night comedians are really hoping that foot-in-the-mouth Joe gets the nomination and gets elected, because they will have 4 years of fodder that is going to be just beautiful.
I don't know. The idea of Bill Clinton as first man, that's great comic material there too, Bob, right?
Yeah, no, that is true. And I think for Rand Paul now, he is looking, I think it's likely Rand Paul is going to run for president. He is looking at the Republican nomination, bashing the Clintons, bashing the media's treatment of the Clintons. That plays with the base. So I think he'll worry about the general election later, but this helps him with the base.
All right. Thanks, guys.